Right, guys, welcome to another math session with yours truly, Professor Fletcher M. Right, so we want to talk about composite functions. So I decided to look for another example to make this interesting. Please note we only be doing the G example, not H. It's another topic on its own. But given that f of x is equal to x plus 2 cubed plus 3, and g of x, which is another function, is equal to the cube root of x minus 3. The question goes on to say, find g of f of x. In other words, find the function of g of f of x. And the other one says, find the function of f of g of x. So, when we're talking of composite functions, basically it's a function within another function. What happens if we input? What happens if we take one function and then we make it to be part of another function? Okay, it will be clear soon. So in this case we have let me change this pen. I think blue is my pen. So we have this function f of x, and this is equal to x plus 2. This is cubed, and we add 3 to that, and then we have another function g of x, and this is equal to the cube root of x minus 3. So the question wants us to find g of f of x, g of f of x. In other words, we need to find a function for g f of x, like that. So let me explain it so that it's what we really want to do. So what we are saying, if I might take for readability sake, what we are saying is that we have a function g of x. This is our g of x. But in that g of x, we are going to input or substitute into it f of x. So the function was g of x. Now it's g of f of x. So in other words, where there was an x in g, we have put an f of x. Let me explain it again. So we have g of x here, but now when we talk of g of f of x, it means wherever there is an x, we are going to substitute with this whole block. Yes, that whole block, as big as it is. So in other words, this is our g of x. So in this g of x, we are going to substitute for this x. Yes, that x. This x. And we are going to put this whole big chunk, yes, the whole of it, into that. That will give us our g of x. That's why it's called a composite function. It's a function within another function. So when we will be calculating, it will be something like this. So g of x initially, this is goes to the cube root of x minus 3. But now we have g f of x. This is now equal to the cube root. It's going to be a bit bigger. The cube root of, let me take my trusted blue. In fact, let me write it down there, a bit down there, so that you can see it properly. So this is equal to the cube root, right? So it's supposed to be x minus 3. So x, we are going to substitute using f of x. So what is our f of x? Our f of x is going to be x plus 2 cubed. So x plus 2, that's cubed. Then we add 3 to it, and then we subtract that 3. So minus 3. So as a result, this is going to give us the cube root. Right, so if I might use my not so friendly red, so plus 3 minus 3, so this will give us a 0 there. So definitely we know that this part will not be there, so we'll be left with that other part, which will be x plus 2, and that's cubed. So if you want to write it in a smarter way, it's going to be 3 to the power of a third. There. That's a cube root. So basically these two guys, if I might use the red again, these two guys will cancel out each other. So it's basically 3 times a third, and that's going to give 1. So as a result, we are going to have x plus 2. So x plus 2. So this is going to be our g of f of x. So the same concept goes on even when you'll be finding the other part which the question asks for, which is the f of g of x. That didn't come out well. Of g of x, like that. So means in f of x we are going to substitute into it g of x. This one is going to be a bit longer, but essentially it's the same thing. So let me just go straight to it. So this is going to be equal to our f of x. We know it's bracket x plus 2 cubed, but instead of writing x plus 2 cubed, we substitute for our x, and we are going to substitute it with the cube root. Where is it? I'm looking for where is the cube root. X minus 3. So this is the value of the x in the f of x. The value of x in the f of x. Remember, f of x was, if I might write here, our f of x was x plus 2 cubed plus a 3. So when we are substituting now for x, so it means the g of x will be substituting where there's an x. So it's going to be that one, and then we add 2, we cube this thing, and then we add 3. So you can follow along and calculate that one. That one would be, so if you have any issues, please let me know, and please subscribe.